Hello everyone and welcome to Cover 2 TV. I'm Ste, joined this week just by Tom Jennings.
Right.
No Chris. Chris is spending some time with his family. He's been away to Serbia, so we thought, you know what, we'll give him a little bit of a break and go and spend some time with his beautiful wife and kids. So just me and Jenno to talk about the NFL on the week that was and the week that's coming up. So Jenno, let's just get out of the way straight away then. Packers, Patriots, your team v my team, and my team have lost again. They keep losing ways, and I thought the better team on the day won. What it showed to me was that my team now has lost 2 close games in 2 weeks, a little bit because of coaching and a little bit because just stupid beating yourself errors. And I think to beat the Rams and to beat the Patriots, it's hard enough as it is without you then beating yourself. And I felt Green Bay, so against the Rams, it was obviously the run and the kick out. Aaron Jones fumbling the ball against the Patriots. We fell for that double play that was obvious. As soon as Edelman got the ball, the whole world knew what was going to happen, except that the Packers defense. It just felt like it just felt like we saw two very good teams, but the team that was more fundamentally sound in New England got the win ultimately.
Yeah, what we saw is just that difference of knowing when to pull out trick plays. When the Patriots offense was starting to stall, that's when you saw the Edmonds trick play, which that was an excellent play. I mean, I know you say you saw it coming. Usually that's a long, deep pass down the side. No, they set up a screen pass with the double pass, which was, again, Josh McDaniels. I think we all forget how great of a play caller and play designer he is. What we saw as well is, I think Packers got lucky with a couple of early things. Like Rodgers fumbled it twice, and they both went out. One was on one of the brilliant Rodgers free play, where he is the best at just seeing that 12 men and then just having a chance to see what happens, and he fumbled it there, so I think he got a little bit lucky there. And there's also the other one where he fumbled it out of bounds, and Patrick Chung had the shot on it, and then he was looking at the floor, and it was just there. It's like, go ahead, lad, grab it. And then he looked up and it was out of bounds, but then you're like, fuck. But I think you got lucky with a couple of fumbles, and then that when you're the final fumble, you just can't. Patriots don't give the ball away. You can't afford to give those turnovers, and I think that's what we saw.
Yeah, for sure. And like I say, Patriots march on. One thing before we start talking about a bit of news then, Jenno. In fact, no, let's do some news now then. 2 relatively high-profile signings this week for agents. More names, I suppose, than actual play. We've got Dez Bryant is now a New Orleans Saint. $600,000 for, what, half a season's work. Isn't what he's used to being paid, and he's been offered more, but he himself admitted he's turned down other offers because he wanted to play for a contender, and he's gone to arguably the best team in the NFC. And then Bruce Irvin has left. He got cut by Oakland because Oakland cut everyone, and he's been signed up by the Falcons.
I think Oakland don't understand the phrase "death by a million cuts." That means Brady throws it 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards. It doesn't mean you cut your whole roster.
And that's what they've what I would say is that Bruce Irvin had dialed out. It looked like he was one of those players. In fact, let's start with him then. It looked like he just got bored of the. He's a veteran player. He sees what's going on. He sees that Oakland are just in a complete rebuild, and if you watch the last couple of Oakland games, to be fair, he's looked half-arsed. He hasn't been bothered. Atlanta have clearly seen a little bit of something. They need pass rush. Vic Beasley, I think, has been a huge disappointment this season. I don't know. It just looks to me like he probably is still a decent player, not what he was in Seattle, but he's going to a team who wants him, who's trying to win, whose system he knows. And ultimately, it just looked like he got bored of the Gruden, what's the word, rebuild, and he's gone. You know what? Not for me. Gone. New start, fresh start.
I think I always like when you watch your football life and you hear about the bad teams. Like I always remember Michael Irvin used to say he'd sit there and he'd be crying because the Cowboys were awful, like they are now, and he'd be crying in the corner, and then people would be going to him saying, "Don't worry, mate, Mike, we still get paid." And straight away, Michael Irvin was in Jerry Jones off saying, "You need to cut him, you need to cut him, you need to cut him." I've got the feeling that was what it is. Bruce Irvin's a veteran. I think he won the Super Bowl when he's with the Seahawks. He's done a lot in his career. He knows that the Raiders aren't going anywhere. So he just checked out and was just cashing in the checks. And I think as much, it's hard for us to say when a team's in that rebuild mode, like, oh, you should try every time. But I think sometimes people zone out.
Business decisions as well, isn't it? Yeah.
So he just went for it. I mean, they cut him, which they should do, which, if he's not playing well, he's not willing to play.
I think they tried to trade him and no one wanted him on that salary. He got to waivers.
And then for Atlanta, it's a free hit. If he doesn't work out, you just cut him. If he works out, great. But I think he's from Atlanta, I believe. So at least they might get something because their defense needs something, because Atlanta are sneakily back in the playoff hunt now after a few good wins. You know, they have got one of the best offenses in the league, so if they can just improve that defense to even get it somewhere close to league average, then they're going to be a scary team coming down.
They've dug themselves a hole, and I don't think they can catch the Saints. Their issue is I'm not even sure they can catch Carolina.
No, but I think
there's certainly a second wild card. If you look at go through the NFC, so I don't think two teams are coming out the East.
No. Can we cancel one team coming out the East?
It wouldn't be a disaster if none come out the East. But the South, you're probably going to get at least two. There's one, so there's another
basically
chance there.
Two of the three best
the
teams.
North is a. I mean, the North might be won by a 9-win team, so it's hard to get a wild card there. Looking at the West, Seattle maybe. So basically, it looks like Atlanta are in a battle with Seattle. And then possibly someone from the
three
North.
of the North teams, whoever.
So they're still in it. So like I say, if Bruce Irvin gives them a little bit of pass rush, because they're injured, they're so injured that they can't cover. They just need. But their offense is so good that they only need one turnover or a couple of key stops here and there. And like I say, I've been disappointed. I've never been a big Vic Beasley fan, and he had that one season where he racked up a lot of numbers, but he's been a bit rubbish. Tack McKinley's been okay, but probably not as good as the draft stock was. So yeah, they need pass rush. Let's talk Dez then. He's gone to as I say before, he's gone to probably the best team in the NFC at the moment. It's obviously they just beat the other one. He's gone to a contender. He's gone to a team that, although they've got a lot of options, I'd say bar obviously Michael Thomas is the receiver, and then Alvin Kamara is probably their second best receiver. Other than that, there's not been anyone who's been amazing. Like Tre'Quan Smith's been good. Cam Meredith's been awful. You can see a role for him, even if it's just 20-30 snaps a game. You can see that he's not going to run away from anybody. He's not, and that's the concern, I suppose. But he could easily be a chain mover and nothing else.
I think the way they're looking at it right now, I've been looking at the Saints, and their options are first option Michael Thomas. They don't really need another one because he catches everything for like 3,000 yards. I can't understand how people can't stop him. He's that good. Then it's Kamara, and then they go Benjamin Watson, who I keep forgetting still in the league. I mean, we drafted him about 20 years ago, and he's still playing well. So fair play, Ben. But so I think they just want that another fourth option. It's going to be only contested catches. I think he's very much going to do an Anquan Bolden in the Ravens, rather, in the Ravens
just
role, where it's just contested catches when you're in a little bit of need. However, I'm not sure. I think you're going to see more. I just don't think that's going to work out. I don't think he's going to be happy enough just being a chain mover, because we know Dez Bryant's personality, and in his head he's like, I'm a number one guy, and it's like, I
think he must know, though, the fact that he's taken what is pretty much a minimum 600 grand or whatever. He's going to a team where he knows he's not number one. He knows he could be a wide receiver too. I don't know. I think I like Smith. He's okay, but my issue is in terms of the fit, is that's a quick pace, high offense, and I don't think he offers you no yards after the catch, really, because he's really slow now. But I suppose what you do say, Jenno, is that Sean Payton's offense has been lights out again. It's been unbelievable, and if anyone can draw up a couple of plays where he might get himself, to get Dez open, or just to get him, 3 catches for 40 yards, you could easily see that happening in that Saints offense.
He could just become a red zone threat. That's what they could just use him for. They haven't really had anyone since Jimmy Graham. It's just a pure red zone threat. So maybe that's what they use him for.
It could even, if it takes half a, if the safety have to take one step to his left, that gives Michael Thomas that extra foot of space. You know what I mean? It's very much simple things like that, because Kamara's an amazing red zone weapon, because not only does he catch it, he can run through the tackles. Michael Thomas is uncoverable at the moment. But I agree, the next option is Ben Watson, where maybe if it is Dez, again, he isn't what he was, he's nowhere near what he was, but he's still big, he's still strong, he's still got good, you'd imagine he's still got good hands. So yeah, it could be if that's the difference between one touchdown, one game, he could be the guy who catches a critical third down. When the margins are so fine when you're trying to beat the Rams and beat the Vikings, or beat whoever, get to a title game, and the Patriots or the Chiefs or whoever, those fine margins are so fine that you can kind of see why you'd roll the dice on him for what, 600 grand.
Again, it's just a flyer. If he doesn't work out, we might just be speaking about this, and in 2 weeks they've cut him.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with kicking the tyres. That's usually what Patriots do. They pick someone up, and people forget about the gluttony of receivers we pick up, look at and go, nah, they're shit then, and we move on.
Yeah.
And it's just good coaching when you're in a position where, like, we're going for a Super Bowl. Can this guy help us? Yes or no? And we'll find out.
If nothing else, it's an upgrade. Cam Reddick's been a huge disappointment. I thought that the Chicago let him go too early, but he's been awful. And maybe he is still recovering from his knee. He had a bad injury, but it hasn't really worked out for him. I think he's got like 150 yards or something mad. Why not kick the tyres on Dez? But yeah, it was a... I think the name is bigger than the move. You know, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? The name Dez Bryant is bigger than what the impact he's probably going to have on the field.
Well, I actually say the name Dez Bryant has always had a much bigger name than the actual impact on the field, and that's been the case, I believe, throughout his career.
Yeah, you know, you and Chris have never been huge.
There was a time when I thought he was really good wide receiver, but he was like the 10th best wide receiver in the NFL, and he got that number one because of the the Cowboys get shoved down our throats constantly.
You love your sneaky Cowboys agenda.
I hate them.
It makes me laugh every time.
They're so bad and no one accepts it.
one more thing, topic I was going to bring up, Jenno, before we move on to looking at the week and stuff. I want to know if you want to go back on your I'm an idiot by saying that maybe you're an idiot for doubting that you were an idiot in the first place. Pre-season, everyone goes back and watches the show. Jenno picked the Chargers to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And lose ultimately, I think you said, didn't you, to the Vikings, I think you said.
Yeah.
It's still in play. 2 weeks into the season, they've been handily beaten. I got the score. 3 weeks into the season, they got 38-28 against the Chiefs, and then 35-23 against the Rams, with a narrow victory against Buffalo, and then a narrow victory over San Francisco. So they were 2-2, and they looked a bit shaky. Since then, obviously, they went and waxed the Raiders, rubbish, waxed the Browns, get away with one slightly against the Titans in London, and then go on the road to Seattle and win, which is, it was 25-17. They were probably better than that. Just the kicker was, again, the kicker. the Chargers kicking us. Sneakily, the Chargers are very much in play. I don't know if you agree, for the number, not even for the playoffs place, like the number one seed in the AFC. It's the 6-2, and let me just read the schedule off to you. They're at Oakland. Should be a win. They're at Denver. They're home to Denver. Should be a win. Home to Arizona. Should be a win. On the road to the Steelers, which is a tough game. Host the Bengals. They've got a chance in that. At Kansas City, probably a loss. Home to Baltimore, who by that stage could be anything. And then at Denver. I mean, if they say they lose at Pittsburgh and they lose at the Chiefs, I mean, that's 12-4. That's number one seed territory in the AFC. Are you back to being on the Chargers bandwagon again?
So I've actually felt more and more confident as the season's gone on in my pre-season Chargers pick, because look at their offense. It's almost unstoppable, and the defense is only going to get better when Joey Bosa comes back, and I'm a believer he comes back, but the fear is still that kicking game. That Seattle game should have been out of sight. They missed 2 kicks, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal. That's so many points being left on the field.
They've cut the kicker. They've cut Caleb Sturgis.
But if he was the guy you thought was the best option, who's the guy you're going to get in off the street who's going to be better than Caleb Sturgis?
It's the young kid they had who they got rid of. He never missed a kick.
Yeah.
And then they brought Caleb Sturgis in. He was rubbish. And now they've gone back. But yeah, it's that's the only thing that's letting them down. I worry about the coaching, and I worry about the special teams, because otherwise they look pretty good.
Again, so when the special teams are always blown off the Chargers, but I've still said the reason I don't think they'll get the 1 seed or the 2 seed, because I think the Chiefs will get it and probably the Patriots. But I don't want to face the Chargers. I like, if Joey Bosa and then they've got Melvin Ingram, they've got enough pass rush and enough of an offense to scare you. Melvin Gordon is running like the best actual running back in the league. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying he's playing as well as anyone else. Yeah. I mean, those skinny chicken legs just keep going.
Michael Badgley's the kicker. That's the name who they brought back in. I think they are in play for the top. I think 12-4 is a really good. They'll get you a shout at a bye. It get you a. I mean, what's the Patriots probably going to finish on?
Probably 12-4 again.
Chiefs around.
I think the Chiefs. The problem is, I think the Chiefs will get 13-3 or 12. I think the Chiefs have got a much better record against the Chargers, and I expect them to beat the Chargers
and then win the division. And then the Chargers are a wild card.
Even though you can have a good record, you can't be the second seed if you're the second team in your own division.
Yeah, that's the issue they've got, isn't it? They could be a fact that they they end up as the 5th seed just because. But then they're that 5th seed who goes on the road to
and beats everyone.
Well, I don't know, probably the AFC South winner.
Yeah, it'll be the Texans, and I'd fancy them to walk over the Texans.
Just love putting it forward. That's the thing. They're in such a good division with the Chiefs. But listen, if they can go into Kansas City and win, because obviously KC hold that tie-breaking now, it isn't beyond the realms that they go in there and win. And then all of a sudden, they're very much in that mix. And worst case is, they're going to be that road team in the playoffs that you don't want coming to your building.
The only thing is, though, your Chargers on the road's never something that scares you, because they don't play outside well. They don't play. They don't play
cold weather
East
games,
Coast well.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm just thinking that the scenarios in my head is that they probably end up going to Houston.
Yeah,
and you'd fancy them there, wouldn't you? And then see what they meant.
It'll be the Patriots, I think.
Possibly the Patriots. It's an interesting one. And
if you're missing kicks, I can't see you beating the Patriots.
That's the thing. They'd have to. Then they will have to. That's when the sloppiness would hit them. Phil Rivers is playing as well as anyone. You know, I think if you ask most people for their MVP midway through the season, I think Pat Mahomes is probably most people's. Drew Brees, possibly Todd Gurley.
See, mine goes Drew Brees. Then I go Phil Rivers.
But Phil Rivers should be in the mix,
I put him second, and the only reason why I don't put Pat Mahomes is I think Kareem Hunt is the one that's actually driving that offense. And then, like, when there's two people, I think it's hard to decide who's the actual MVP of that team. And that's a little bit like the Rams issue, where as good as Gurley is, there's then the Goff and there's Donald, and there's other people splitting that vote, whereas on the other, for Brees and Rivers, I think it is just them on that team.
I think Rivers has been really good. I think they're all they're very, very good teams. I just think he's probably going a bit under the radar. I think he's probably playing as well as he has done for a while. And the best thing is, we always talk about bad offensive lines, and he's got his offensive line. His right tackle's a disaster. The rest of it's just about holding up. He gets the ball out so quickly that he's almost, in Tom Brady fashion, he's kind of negating that. You know, the people are getting through, but the ball's gone by the time they're getting there. He's the most competitive man I've ever seen, which is amazing. And he's got his weapons going. So like I say, you mentioned Melvin Gordon, but Keenan Allen had a decent game the other day. Both Williamses have started booking their ideas up a little bit. I've been hugely impressed by the Chargers, and the only thing that's putting me off is the fact that they're the Chargers, and they've got this record of just, I don't know, not so much bottling it, just doing stupid things at stupid times. And I'm not convinced Anthony Lynn is a great coach yet.
In a year where it seems like coaching matters at the most, we're not convinced by Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think I'd love any Chargers fans watching or listening, give us a shout and let us know what you think about Anthony Lynn, because we're probably on the fence, if not on the other side of the fence.
I think last season we were on the other side of the fence, but I think
he's coming around. They've done really well. I just think everyone's just penciling in Chiefs Patriots as that title game. I don't know if that'll go well for you, if I'm honest, but
that's why.
it went very well the other day, but I wouldn't be writing them Chargers off. And conversely, let's talk NFC. One team I want to talk about again. We mentioned the Rams and the Saints. Carolina are no mugs, and they are, again, they can win the division because they've got 2 games to play against New Orleans. The issue is, similar to the Chiefs and Chargers, New Orleans have just owned the Panthers recently. I think they swept them 3 times last year. Sean Payton got the broom out in the celebration. But the Panthers aren't. I think they are the NFC equivalent of sneaking under the radar. They're a good team that have kind of just, oh yeah, by the way, the Panthers are good. No one's been paying attention.
It's because I think it's the lack of big name talent. There's Cam Newton, and then there's who? I think that's it. I mean, North Turner's come in there. Now, I openly wasn't a big North Turner guy.
Yeah, same.
And he's massively improved that offense.
Yeah,
everything's going well. I mean, Cam Newton's now throwing it like 67% accurate. Cam Newton's usually a 58, 59% accuracy. So you're seeing a massive improvement. Christian McCaffrey starting to live up to the
absolutely love him.
Number, what was he
7 or 8?
Right, 7 overall billing, which I think we all thought, ooh, that looks like it's going to be a bust, because we didn't think he could run between the tackles. But in the offense they've got now, it's working for them. Yeah. And then they finally stop going for the big-bodied receiver, and they've realised yards after the catch is a big deal in the NFL.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel,
get it to someone who can run with it.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel's playing well. Greg Olson's back from the foot, and he's playing well. I agree. Cam's playing really well, and again, I think he could be sneakily in the MVP race. I think he's that good, and that they're still willing to run him, because they know that that's that works.
Because that's the thing, Cam's a different breed than all the other running quarterbacks.
He shouldn't get hurt as big.
He's 6'5" and bigger than the linebackers.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and I know defensively the secondary worries you, but the pass rush has been getting home, and the linebackers are out of this world good.
Yeah.
Again, the issue that the Panthers have got is just the fact that they're in the same division as the Saints, and the Falcons are knocking around as well. And again, they look like they've got their home. I think they've won 10 straight at home, 9 straight at home. So if you're a Panthers fan, you're desperate for that home field advantage, and if you're a Saints fan, you're hoping those 2 games go your way. Because if New Orleans get the 1 seed, they're going to the Super Bowl for me. I don't think anyone's going into the Dome and winning. If Carolina can be at home, no, New Orleans showed last year they can go in there and win, but I think this is a better Panthers team, and I think that would be really tough for anybody to go into Carolina and get a W, because no one's been able to do it for it.
No, I mean,
since the Saints.
Yeah, it's a quietly good home field advantage that no one really talks about, because it's not somewhere where you're thinking it's an intimidating atmosphere on board. They just keep winning at home. I think the fear with the Panthers is, I'm not sure they're a team who can come. I know they did against the Eagles, but I feel as if a good team goes ahead on them, and I don't see them coming back. That's my fear with that. When the running options taken away, even Cam can't really run it. You need to just trust the throw in it. That's where I worry.
Yeah, there's no huge downfield threat. Perhaps Ted Ginn and stuff. Yeah, I'm with you. I just think, again, I think certain teams are just sneaking under the radar, and like I say, there are teams who are getting more attention who aren't as good as the Panthers for sure, and I think the Saints will win that division. But I don't think I think they play each other 15 and 17, and that could be like box office type football. That could be huge, and I can't wait to watch it. Right, Pick'em. Let's talk about Pick'em. I was horrendous last week. I took the Packers and the Rams, thinking I had a chance of lone wolf picks, and it didn't work out well. Now I'm not going to dance today just because
I think we have to scrap the dance.
The dance, since we've gone to the new setup, dancing's out the window. Let us know in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. Tweet us at Cover2TV if you're listening to the podcast. What should the 4th be for whoever loses the weekly Pick'em out? So us 2 and Chris. Bear in mind that this goes out live to people, so don't ask us to do anything ridiculously stupid. But I think maybe any ideas you can think of, let us know. We'll be interested to see, and we'll definitely pick one of them, provided they're not
provided we can actually do it,
and they're not. We don't want to break the law.
Yeah.
Or
get the YouTube channel shut down,
or remove any items of clothing. I think I'll draw the line at that. Anything else? I'll consider.
Even me hat, I might take that off.
So yeah,
there's a reason why I will.
Yeah, I was rubbish. So let's hope this week things can go a little bit better. Again, we're recording this as we record. Jenno, we just spoke about the Panthers and Steelers, and people watching this back to listen will know the score. So very, very quickly, who did you have in this?
I've gone Steelers.
I've gone Panthers. So one of us is right, one of us wrong. So there's a good start. Probably me being wrong. Sorry, Panthers fans. The Bears 5-3 host the Lions 3-5.
I'm going the Bears. I think the Bears are just a better team.
Again, as at time recorded, we don't know what Khalil Mack's status is. He missed the last couple of games he's expected to play, I think. I really could do with the Lions winning this, if I'm honest. But I'm going to go Bears as well. At home, just the Lions' offense really, really concerned me in the last game.
How bad they were.
It's almost like you take out the guy who's on course at 1,200 yards out your lineup and you look worse.
And suddenly you have no quick passing, and suddenly
they just cut Amir Abdullah, which is fair enough.
How they kept him for so long. He was so garbage.
He just dropped the ball all the time. Kerryon Johnson's look good. The issue is, I thought for years the Lions need a run game, and they've got themselves a run game, and they're still a 3-5 Lions that they've always been. It's like they're destined to be just 7-9, 8-8.
Yeah, at 6-10 this year. They change it up a bit.
The Saints go on the road. They're quite a difficult game. They go to Cincinnati, which isn't an easy place to go to. Do you expect them to roll in what could be inclement weather, which we know that doesn't really suit them?
I'm never picking Cincinnati in any big game. Yeah,
that's fair enough. Yeah, I've gone the Saints as well. I can see them rolling, and they've got the ground game. I think now that they never always had that.
They don't put Everton on Drew Brees' arm like they used to. Now I think we're going to see a lot of Ingram Kamara.
Yeah, I think that offense just translates more outside than it has done in years past. We spoke about the Falcons then. We just mentioned before, 4-4, going to Greg Williams' 2-6-1 Cleveland Browns. The Browns have been, quite difficult at times at home, but in recent weeks they've started to look like the Cleveland Browns again.
Yeah.
They've reverted to their shitness. I've picked the Falcons.
I've gone Falcons. The Browns have they had a few feisty weeks and they kept losing close games because that's what bad teams do. Now they're just going to lose by a lot.
And again, Baker Mayfield's, I'm not sure he should play, I suppose, but we don't know. He's been questionable, I think. 2, 3 and 5 teams then in the battle for the AFC South, the terrible AFC South. The Jags are on the road to the Colts, both 3 and 5.
I've gone the Colts. I'm going for the better quarterback. I think Andrew Luck's just probably the best player on the field, so that's what I've gone for.
Yeah, I've gone Colts as well, which is a surprise. I wouldn't have again, Jags were my Super Bowl pick, but...
Yeah, I had the Jags originally whenever I did it last time, and I was looking at it just before we done the studio, and I went, nah, Colts.
Yeah, I've gone Colts. I must admit, I've gone Colts. I'm just not... The Jags have been a mess, and like I say, they're coming off, so maybe they've figured things out.
Yeah.
But the Colts offense has been rolling with guys who... Andrew Luck's making guys like Rodgers and Ali.
People I've never heard of.
I'll be honest, I've never... The guy who told touchdown, I was like, I have no idea who that guy is.
I was listening to one of the podcasts I'd listened to before, and he mentioned who he's thrown touchdowns to, and I was like, who?
Yeah, and...
I need to go and look at them on fantasy?
Eric Ebron's been a factor, which is amazing. The Colts offense is good. The Colts defense is playing better.
Yeah,
the Colts offensive line is finally protecting Andrew Luck at last. We're both going to pick the Chiefs over the Cardinals.
Yeah,
I think we can gloss over.
That's got a 99% pick rate,
Yeah,
I looked at it before.
Anyone picking the Cardinals, fair play. If that comes in, you're a braver man than me. Game of the week in some people's eyes. The 2-7 Buffalo Bills with Nathan Peterman go on the road to the 3-6 New York Jets. Josh McCown's New York Jets because Sam Darnold's got a sore foot. Jets at home. I actually think Josh McCown's probably better than Sam Darnold at this point. For a bad team, you're probably better off having Josh McCown to manage. And I am never picking Nathan Peterman in a game ever.
How's he a quarterback? I just don't get it. I don't get how anyone lets him play.
If anyone has got Colin Kaepernick's lawyers and they're about this collusion case and just go and show them just show them Nathan Peterman and say this guy is starting in the league and I'm not, and just pick six. I've never seen anything like it.
I keep talking about how I got asked the week why I don't think Colin Kaepernick has a team, and I think you have to have an offense suited to him. But no, there's no way. There's no way that you wouldn't just go rather than get Derek Anderson off the street today and just go and get Kaepernick clearly better. That's where the collusion is real.
And I think the Bills' offense might have more pick sixes against them than touchdowns in the last 4 games that Nate Peterman played. It's been an absolute disaster. The 5-3 Redskins on the road at the 3-5 Bucks, and I'm going to go first here. And I've gone for Tampa Bay at home. The Redskins are so injured. They've just lost their 2 guards, their left tackle's hurt. They've lost their deep threat wide receiver all in 1 week, and that just kills you. And I think I'm going to go for Tampa Bay to go up early, and the Redskins don't come back when they go behind.
I'm actually with you. I've gone Tampa as well. Yeah, I'm going Fitzmagic all the way. I just think, again, Redskins are built to run the ball. Offensive lines just all disappear.
There's a good chance that they play a completely backup line because Moses, their right tackle, has got an MCL, and he's basically been getting injections to play through it, and he was horrendous last week, and it might be worth just sitting him down, and in which case they are literally sad. They've got 5 backup offensive linemen, including Jonathan Cooper, who was an absolute bust everywhere he's been. You're well aware of this.
You forget he was there.
Yeah.
And not only that, he got arrested not so long ago for threatening to shoot Incognito.
They've had all kinds of people rolling through that. You don't win. I just don't think they can win. Their style of football needs their offensive line, and they just don't have it. So
Alex Smith is not going to overcome any odds.
Yeah, probably not. Your Patriots go to Tennessee. Any concern at all, or are you fine with that?
No, because Tennessee keep paying Patriots players who we don't think are very good a lot of money.
They do keep doing that.
Malcolm Butler's getting banned all over the show.
Do you think
Meet Josh Gordon. See,
I've always thought that Tom Brady really, really liked... Tom Brady was a big fan, but now I've got a feeling Belichick wouldn't mind going after him a little bit. Can you see them just going Gordon straight on?
I'm saying that's a matchup nightmare because Malcolm Butler's not very tall and he's been getting banned a lot this season. And Brady, the only wide receiver he actually trusts is Josh Gordon at this point.
Yeah, because
Edelman's got a craze. Edelman's starting to look like 2011 Welker, where he keeps dropping it. The Patriots as a whole, I was going to talk about this about when we played the Packers. They're actually in decline. All their big name stars that we've been watching for the last 10 years are actually in decline slightly. they're still better than everyone else, but we are coming to the end.
I thought they were quite sloppy. I thought I don't think
Brady's
played okay, but nowhere near as last year's standards.
Brady's playing top 10 quarterback level, not best of all time level. Gronk's looked old. He looks, I'm not ruling him out, but Edelman's looks slower.
Cordell Patton's a good running back, apparently.
Well,
maybe that's just against the Packers.
No, it's my favourite bit. That was someone went, why couldn't the Raiders figure this out? And Jack Del Rio just went, we did. Yeah, we tried it. It worked for a week and it didn't work again.
He runs like straight up. Someone's going to smash him. He needs to be careful about that. But I think we both picked the Patriots there. Right, those Chargers that we've just bigged up cannot go to Oakland and lose. Unless we've just absolutely jinxed them.
That would be a very Chargers thing. But the Raiders don't want to win.
The Raiders are awful.
At what point do you just give up on Derek Carr?
I don't... Where'd you go? The issue they've got, they could give up on Derek Carr, and there's a good chance they're going to have the number 1 overall pick. There's not really anyone to take with it, because it looks like Herbert's probably going to stay in college. There's no quarterback. You're almost getting into... I don't want to say Christian Ponder.
Christian Ponder, Blake Gabbert and Jake Locker all went in the top 10.
Where you're just you take that quarterback because you need a quarterback, not because he's a number 1 quarterback. Like, there was 4 guys last year, maybe 5 who would all be better than. In fact, 5 who were all better than Lamar Jackson. Could be the number 1 pick in this draft if someone was quarterback needy. That's the issue on Derek Carr, is that where'd you go?
Yeah, but I just think. I think Derek Carr needs a change. Like if I'm Derek Carr, I'd probably go in and go, can you just trade me? It's just
again, he's someone who needs an offensive line. Because he hasn't got one, and he hasn't got anything. They haven't got anything. They're absolute embarrassments, and they're not bothered.
So why pay a quarterback? That's the thing. If you've got nothing, why pay the quarterback?
Yeah, unless again, it's a fair point.
You're just wasting money.
I just don't know where you go.
Yeah,
it's hard to know where you go. Right, the Packers 3-4-1 hosting. I mean, the Dolphins have got more wins than us. 5. How are Miami 5-4?
Yeah,
I hate the AFC East. Just garbage teams. You know why they're always in the playoffs or thereabouts? Because they play the Jets twice and the Bills twice, and they beat them, and then they always get 1 win off the Patriots. And they're on 5 every year, and they might get to the playoffs and they'll just lose. The Dolphins infuriate me. They are the most vanilla, boring team in the league, and they cannot go to Lambeau and win. If they win in Lambeau, I might just leave. I'd be an absolute disgrace. So there's no way. If Brock Osweiler comes and beats us, I can cope with the Rams. I'll be honest, and I can cope. We've lost 4 times now. We've lost the Rams and the Patriots. You can kind of accept.
You drew one against the Vikings.
The Vikings tie, which was bizarre. The Redskins loss, which was maybe sick. The Miami Dolphins. I can't have it. I'm unwilling to accept it, so I'm going to say Packers.
I'm going to go Packers, but now that you said that, I can't. I hate the Dolphins. They're like the AFC Cowboys. They're this big name, but they're actually terrible.
What have they got?
They've nothing. They've got an average defense and an awful offense.
I really hope
they're good special teams.
I really hope they don't come in and beat us. Rams Seahawks is interesting. It's at LA, which again probably gives them. I'm going to go the Rams to get right. What I saw from Seattle against the Chargers was at times okay, but then at times it was a mess. And I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. He really needs to stop doing that thing where he gets sacked running back 10 yards. It kills them. Yeah. They are looking more and more like you mentioned that decline team. They're there, and they're trying to come out the other side. They're not trying to rebuild. They're trying to mend it on the fly kind of thing. So
they're going for evolution, not revolution.
Yeah, and it worked to an extent, and they've looked okay at times. And I thought the Lions win was impressive, for example, but I don't think they are at the standard of the Rams. They look like a wild card at best team. They don't look anywhere near as good as a Super Bowl team.
The running back's injured, isn't he? The one that's been playing pretty well. I think he's out, so I think that's the problem. Because the thing with Russell Wilson is we were all very impressed with. It's when plays break down, Russell Wilson's not very... I think we're seeing it more and more. He's not good at reading a defence and just picking holes in defence like being a surgeon. He is just a guy who just... Like, I remember against the Patriots, our defence played really well. He just had like 2 drives in the first half that with like 3 passes each and scored a touchdown, and that's how we killed teams. I think you can't, that's not a sustainable way to play unless you've got that top tier defense they used to have to hold teams.
I like the deep threat action, him to Tyler Lockett's been a very, very good weapon, and that's certainly in play. And Marcus Peters, everyone's having burning Marcus Peters, so I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Lockett just runs past them. The issue is, I see the Rams scoring 35 every week, and I just can't see the Seattle offense scoring 35, so I've gone Rams. I'm sure you're the same.
I've gone Rams, yeah.
What we all want on Sunday night is another NFC matchup. So Eagles 4-4, Dallas. Sorry, Eagles host Dallas, who are 3-5.
How are Dallas on telly again?
Well, it's a late game. It's not the Sunday night game. It's a Sunday night game.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said it was the late game, and I was going, how are they on telly again?
I don't think it is. Oh no, we're there. No, you are right. It is. It's the Sunday night football.
Ow.
Eagles hosting Dallas. Well, it's I'll tell you how, because the market share in those cities. I've not been impressed by Eagles at all, and they're injured as well. They've been people talk Super Bowl hangover. They are Super Bowl 4-day hangover. I mean, they're dying. Having said that, Dallas were awful against the Titans the other day. Shortish week, isn't it? So coming off on the road off a Monday night home loss. I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they won, but I'm going to pick Philadelphia.
Yeah, see, I was laughing at this because, right, so when Dallas got beat by the Titans, like, none of us saw this coming. I was like, how did you not see you a 3-4 team who didn't look very good and who's looked like they've got an awful offense? You've only got a decent defense, which in 2018 doesn't get you very far. Ask the Ravens. How did you not see you getting beat by a mediocre Titans team? You are crap. You've largely been crap for the last 26 years.
Fair enough, yeah. So that's fair enough.
I'm going to Eagles.
1-7 Giants on the road to the.
It's just Monday
night football. The 1-7 Giants on the road to Super Nick Mullins and the 2-7 San Francisco 49ers. To be fair to Nick Mullins, he'd have one game in the NFL, and it was against a really bad team, and he smoked them.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he's going to do it again. Why not?
Yeah, oh yeah, he is. I think he's got the benefit of having Kyle Shanahan as a play caller.
I love that. You know what? I feel robbed because I was big on the Niners. I was big on Jimmy Garoppolo, and I feel through Jimmy Garoppolo's own stupidity of cutting back inside and getting hurt.
Why would you cut back?
He's taking it away because that offense now was starting to look. They played really well against Green Bay, and it was a last second comeback to win. They've got options. Marquise Goodwin is, but again, he's almost uncoverable on deep routes. He's too fast. George Kittle looks like one of the best tight ends in the league.
I think he is currently playing the best tight ends in the league.
They're playing really. Matt Brady's come back from injury, I think, now, and he's looking strong as well. I mean, I've got no idea who Nick Mullins is. I've only seen one game of him, but he played well.
He broke all Brett Favre's records at college.
He did, yeah. So he's got something.
Even though, Brett Favre didn't throw it in college, if anyone knows that. Brett Favre was just told to run.
But at worst case, what the Giants have got for them is the Giants have got talent. So Beckham and Barkley in particular have got the ability to just take a game. Very much like Michael Thomas, 200 yards. Beckham can do that. The issue Beckham's got is that he needs someone to throw it to him.
And the guy's a black hole in the offense that they can't see. He's like the blind spot.
And Barkley keeps going for 200 yards a game and they keep losing. So it's one of There's
nothing you can do when your whole offense is run Barkley, throw to Barkley, run Barkley, throw to Barkley. When that's your offense and you can't find Sterling Shepard or OBJ.
It's good for my fantasy team. I've got Barkley in my team. He's getting me points, but that doesn't really help New York, does it? I've gone San Francisco, and let me ask you this, fast forward then before we end. If they go into San Francisco and get beat by Nick Mullins, can we see it? I mean, the issue they've got is that they can't really bench Eli, really, because the guy they might have brought in has been arrested for speeding offences, was it? Or
I don't know, he just got Chad Kelly syndrome. You're about to get given a start. Let's get arrested instead.
So Carl Aletta got arrested, so I don't know what they would do, but it's a shame, really, because I wouldn't mind seeing this offense without Eli just to see what it looks like, but
yeah, and then obviously the trade deadline's gone. Do you know what I was thinking the other day, right?
Because Sam Bradford, he knows
the greatest agent alive.
Well, Pat Shermer knew Sam Bradford well in Minnesota. He had a game or two with him, I think, last season.
That one fable game.
He's on the market. He cleared waivers unsurprisingly with that contract that he had, but at time recording, he's still out there. I suppose he's the most viable option again, because Kaepernick's not going to happen. It's the Giants are just heading again. Their issue is they're heading to quarterback purgatory. they're going to a draft needing a quarterback. And I think when you need, I must have it, and the draft class is pretty rubbish, you can end up in a world of trouble. And that's why, as good as Barkley is, the decision not to take Darnold is that, again, and Darnold hasn't lit the world on fire by all means, but he's shown promise. There's nothing coming, and that's what worries me if I was a Giants fan.
Yeah, because again, it's most of these quarterbacks. I mean, most of the quarterbacks in the NFL are first-round picks.
Yeah.
But it's usually 1 out of 4 that works. Like, made that number up. I've no idea here, but that's what it just feels like. Most of them flame out very quickly. Again, we all know the reason why he didn't take Barkley wasn't because of how good Barkley was. It was because you'd have to pay him QB money for when he comes in, which, why would you want to do that for a running back when you can get one in the 5th round who's amazing?
I think I don't mind taking a top 5 back if you're just adding him to be the final piece of the jigsaw. So, the Jags took Fournette thinking we get him and we might win the Super Bowl. And to be fair, it nearly worked. They got to a title game. The Giants were nowhere near. And I'm a big Barkley fan. Anyone who I give him he was number 1 in my class. I thought he was absolutely amazing. And I've never knocked the talent of the player. What they've done now is they've put themselves in a situation where Eli's the option. If not, it's trading for Teddy Bridgewater maybe, or trading for Derek. I don't know.
I was going to say, I remember, why has no one went for Jacoby Brissett? He was fine at the Colts, and there's a quarterback just sitting there. He's not going to get back in the Colts. I was like, why did no one trade for him before the trade deadline?
Yeah, for sure. And he could be another option in the summer, but it's
not now. It's trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, it's next season. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, it's good luck to the Giants and all the best. I hope Giants fans enjoy the game in San Francisco. I don't care who wins, to be honest.
I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to lie to you.
I always go on a Tuesday morning and watch the 40-minute highlights on Game Pass. I'll just watch the 2-minute highlight of this one.
Well,
I've got no.
Usually I'm in work on a Monday, so I'll watch it. But I'm not in work, so I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah, fair enough. I think only Nick Mullins' family will be watching that game. So that'll round up for this week. Let us know in the comments below any thoughts you've got on what we discussed on the show. If you're listening to this, please give us a review. If you're listening on iTunes or whatever format you're listening on, please give us that little boost. It helps us, spread the word and get more people, get this coming in more people's ears, and that's ultimately what we want. Jenno, we'll be back next week and we'll hopefully be toasting a Packers win and a Patriots loss because you got all the happiness this week. So yeah, that's been Cover 2 TV, and we'll see you all soon. Goodbye.